Well, hello everybody, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of NIU Esports League of Legends. I am Connor Vagel. As always, going to be doing your play-by-play tonight, and I'm joined today by uh, one of the players from our League of Legends team. It's going to be Jacob Vita. You might know him as Beast Fridge,
Hello.
and he's going to be helping us out. So, how's it going tonight, Jacob?
Going pretty good. I'm really excited for this game. I've heard a lot of good things about both teams, but I'm just excited to see what NIU has in store for this team.
Yeah, I have to agree with you here. I mean, this is probably the closest the competition's been across the conference all season. Both of these teams are coming in as this being their first match. We saw Northeastern reschedule their first game from last Saturday over to later on in the year, and NIU was on the bye for the first match day. So for both of these
So
teams, it's a little bit fresh, and we're going to see how they decide to go about it in this first one. No drafts on paper quite yet, but should be some exciting stuff. So, anything you're looking forward to seeing here today?
I'm really excited to see the how NIU bot lane goes into Northeastern bot lane because I know the Northeastern bot lane is quite good around GM from what I've heard. So
Yeah,
I'm interested to see if they try to play towards the bot lane to even out the gap, or if they try to just go all in on top lane.
yeah, I have to agree. And looking at the lineups, let's give you a little bit of an introduction on these lineups. So, for the side of Northeastern, we're going to see that is Jisung in the top lane. uh, at least how I'm seeing it right now. So Jisung, we're gonna see Bokudo Uchiha, uh, Biel Whis or Bliss, Srirachi and Hope One for the side of Northeastern, and on the side of NIU, it's gonna be Swolpingo up in the top lane. Fury going to be returning, but with a role swap. So playing top lane last year, he's now in the jungle. B Chillin returns to the team here for yet another season. Snark is going to be our ADC, and in the support role, it's going to be Otter. So a little bit of a changeover this year for this roster. So, uh, what can you tell us about this roster so far?
I'm a big fan of the cohesiveness I've seen on this roster. I've had experience with previous teams, and I've never seen a team work quite as well and understand each other as they have. I'm in comms for all their scrims, and it sounds very fluid. So I'm excited to see how they gear themselves towards these objectives, especially the new Otacon objective. I'm really excited to see how they handle those.
Absolutely. Oh, my apologies. Hope is their coach. Hiccup is going to be the last one in the roster. I had that wrong there, but well, let's see. Okay, they're moving around the order. We'll have a finalized lineup for you there. Yeah, it does look like it's Srirachi in the mid lane, Bliss in the ADC, and then Hiccup as 1357 as the support. But yeah, I have to agree. I've been hearing a lot about their comms, and it seems very very cohesive so far. Um, so I do want to give a shout out. You guys saw it last night for our Overwatch broadcast, and today you're gonna see it as well, but Ethan is joining us as our producer, and he's going to be also as your spectator throughout the season. So give it up for Ethan in the chat because you've got some really cool graphics that you're going to be seeing throughout this season, and we can't wait to bring them to you here. And draft is going to be the first of those. So as we get into it, let's see what these teams picked and banned. So both of these teams did end up doing the drafter picks and bans, so they did online draft. So this is just going to be finalizing those picks. We shouldn't see any surprises, although Jacob and I did leave it for a surprise for ourselves, so we should be kind of seeing what goes on here. So Viego and Caitlyn going to be those initial bans. Nothing too surprising there.
Yeah, I expect probably a Syndra ban from Northeastern. I mean, I assume Syndra's a pretty strong pick right now, and I think for NIU bot lane anyway, they're gonna go for something more neutralizing. Uh, Try to play around Logan, sorry, Fury in the jungle.
Yeah, and NIU gonna take off Skarner and now Lulu as well. So I know that that's been kind of going back and forth as to whether they were gonna pick that
Hey,
Lulu
and
get it
Bessa
banned.
right out the gate.
Yeah, I know they were talking that that's something that Jisung plays quite a bit. Um, there were kind of two champions in that rotation. Xin Zhao. So this one was interesting because I did spoil this a little bit for myself. These guys are picking their own champions in this case, but Xin Zhao was that first pick for the side of Northeastern, which is really interesting because I think they know that NIU has a decently high priority on that for Fury. And then with that Viego off the board, it did take a couple of champs out of Fury's pool, and so we'll see Bokudo going on that Xin Zhao here.
Yeah, and
NIU
I
answered.
I
Oh,
wanna
go
I
ahead.
wanna point out that they just they banned the Lux and left open the Syndra, which is interesting, but I think it's because of the cohesiveness of the Lux into the comp that NIU is currently trying to run with this mitigating bot lane. Uh,
Yeah,
so I think it's an interesting approach for sure.
I have to agree. And I'm curious to see with that Varus who NIU decided to pair with that for the support role. Um, it is, there's a little bit of an interesting look here because you've got some heavy engage with the Ornn and Wukong. Syndra can definitely look for a pick on some of these champions, and Varus is going to be able to follow up quite heavily. So yeah, that Braum, I do like that comp quite a bit. Similarly, on the side of Northeastern, you do see a lot of standard types of picks here. The Zinzao, Silas, Misfortune, Karma been kind of staples for quite a while in
I,
an aggressive type of game. But
uh,
Ambessa definitely new here. So
yeah, I was gonna say I think the Karma is a really good pick here. It really boosts all three of the topside champions that they chose, and because I think that's gonna be their win con because they can't really play MF well in these team fights with the Braum in front of her. So I think the Karma is a very good pick.
yeah, and it does allow them to have some aggression there. I mean, you can get the double tap from Misfortune into any of Karma's poke abilities, and that can really do some damage in here. So I do like that that's a tank support here for the side of NIU. Um, so here's the one thing that we are going to have to wait for, as you guys know, there is that full 5 minute delay. However, the way that that implements in League of Legends is a little bit different. For those of you that are new here, it is going to be 3 minutes of spectator delay. So we have the same delay that anybody else would if they were watching the game. That said, within the chat to actual stream delay, there's only 2 minutes. So we will see any messages that you guys post 2 minutes after you post them. Um, or I guess technically we'll see them in real time, but you guys will be reacting to something that happened 2 minutes ago in Jacob and I's time. So just letting you know that if the caster volume needs to change or anything, just know that it'll take a couple minutes to get that ready to go. But we'll be paying attention to that in the chat as we go. Um, Overall, though, two very interesting compositions. I'm excited to see how this one goes. Northeastern rated on paper as the best team in terms of solo queue rankings within the conference, although we've already seen some upsets within that ranking. So, um, like I was saying at the top, this seems like the season where anything can happen within the conference. Um, Jacob, what
Yeah.
changes to this season of League aside from Otacon? I know you mentioned that a little bit earlier, but what changes are you finding most impactful so far between
Well,
feats and everything to that end?
everything is a bit more fast paced and hectic. So it puts a lot of pressure on the team as five to decide what they want to play for. Um, Whether they want to go for the grubs or if they want to just sack feats for some other turret or whatever on the other side of the map. Um, I think the biggest thing to look at is the Otacon spawn timer, and which Otacon it is, because the Otacon spawn timer is sometimes lined up with dragons, sometimes on the opposite side of the map, sometimes on the same side of the map. And whatever the buff is can sway the decision to just rush it or to just let it sit on the map for like 5 minutes. And I think how teams decide how they want to go about it is very interesting this season. And it can make or break games. I've seen a lot of thrown games at Otacon alone.
Yeah, I mean, the two different forms to your point are very interesting because you've got this, you know, the intent definitely is there to make you play a little bit more aggressively once you get Otacon if you have Voracious Otacon. However, it ends up being pretty interesting because the two forms have completely different styles there as we go. All right, so just to make sure I'm on the same page as production, I have 10 seconds here. Is that where we're at so far? All right. I think we're just about even. So we'll go with this, and we should be okay. But looking across the board, at the summoner spells and runes, we do have teleport, the changed teleport. So that's another impactful change so far in this season. That's going to be on Ambessa, Silas, uh, Orn, and Syndra. So lots of teleports coming through here. And cleanse going to be on Bliss here. Ignite for the Karma, pretty standard. NIU, on the other hand, taking the barrier for Snark and the exhaust for Otter.
So
Uh,
that's actually a really important thing to note is that NIU bot lane has a summoner spell advantage basically because the barrier in the early 2v2 is just way too like lane deciding for the actual skirmishes that can happen in the bot lane. So if you have to take cleanse, which Lewis does here because he's in the Braum Syndra, so it definitely is a cleanse game. So Snark being able to take that barrier is really important for the 2v2.
yeah, I have to agree. And looking at it, NIU able to get a lot of deep vision here. So they're going to hopefully be able to grab some vision onto the Xin Zhao as he goes and tries to get a full clear. That's pretty standard in this season with a lot of full clear junglers, especially uh, with the advent of some of these feats of strength. Not as much into it as there was last patch, where we see First Blood being all that decisive, and now it's first to 3 kills. So a little bit less riding on that early aggression, but still very good for NIU to get some vision here.
And I do like what I'm seeing from both junglers. Wukong is pathing down towards his bot lane, and Xin is pathing upwards towards the Mbessa. Usually when you draft Orin, you want to just stay away from his lane for the most part. And I think NIU bot lane will be playing more towards Logan than Logan is going to be playing towards them. I think they're going to be looking to set this Wukong up for some thick 3v2 plays.
Yeah, and I mean it's already starting to get there. That's a pretty hefty wave they're going to have to clear out on the bot lane, but they have the Wukong already kind of hovering towards the bot side, so we'll have to see if they're able to get that aggression. There were some early trades that favored Northeastern here, but NIU battling back in each of their lanes pretty nicely. Be chillin' to be able to sidestep that one, so the chains don't quite land, and this will be
And
just some poke in the bot.
as I say about Orin lane, you know, if you're going even, you're pretty much winning in most cases, because he's going to come back with like play steel caps and pretty much be unkillable for the top jungle. So just gotta make it through those early levels.
Yeah, especially if you're able to get onto the onto that foreign items, the artifacts tend to be really impactful here in the game. So
The ornament's
we'll have to
really
see.
good, especially for the mages. I think they're pretty strong for the mage items. Okay, we see
I agree. And Snark gonna be ignited. That barrier is gonna mean that he will. Oh no, not gonna be able to live through that one. Now Be Chill gonna have to flash. He's gonna be followed up, and Srirachi will get the second kill, and quickly. And now you might be able to answer this one. Fury is gonna be able to do so, and so the feat does not quite go over towards the side of Northeastern, but and now you're gonna have to be careful here because they don't really want to give that up early on here in this game.
it's a great start for Northeastern. The NIU jungle able to trade back that kill mid lane, pretty nice. getting this Wukong accelerated is a really important part of NIU's game plan. So it's really nice getting a kill on him.
Yeah, I have to agree. And looking at it, it's a little unfortunate that Misfortune was able to back and get a Vamp Scepter. She didn't even get an assist though on that kill, so that's not the absolute worst thing that could happen um, for them. So yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not bad.
There we go.
See first Ornn base already with the chain vest is big buy for him, especially since it's a double AD top jungle. So he's gonna be pretty much unkillable for the rest of his lane, and now he can actually start catching up in farm because the way Ornn works, you got to give the early farm in most cases to be able to farm later.
Yeah, and Northeastern really just able to set that one up nicely. Walking straight up, they had their jungle and support in the mid lane, able to grab the kill on towards B Chillin', and so that is going to be the feat of Fury? Feat of uh, Warfare? Is that what it's called? That goes
Like
over towards
warfare.
this side. Yeah, Warfare. That's right. Snark is now going to be caught with this one. Are they going to be able to get Otter out? Because this is going to be the flash. It's going to be close. That's the last auto, and it is going to be the double tap, able to get the kill on towards the side of Northeastern. And they have found themselves a lot of bloodshed early here. 5 kills to 1, about a 2.3k gold lead. About 6 minutes into this game, and they're going to just add insult to injury as they are going to find themselves the Ocean Drake to start it up.
Clean execution from Bokuto Uchiha. I think he's already putting in a lot of work. He's dropping camps, so the NIU Wukong is going to be slowly outpacing him and possibly even looking to counter jungle, maybe cross map for some grubs. But it's definitely favored for Northeastern.
Yeah, NIU, Fury going to be able to grab this this rift or the scuttle crab, so at least he'll be able to get something out of this, but not quite the great start that you're hoping for as NIU. Now, Beachillin able to trade a little bit back on towards Srirachi. Actually, a lot of damage, but the ultimate there, the Unleashed Power, does not quite have enough damage to get the kill. We'll be able to just reset the lane, though, so good timing on that, especially with the fact that we did see Karma roam up towards the mid lane. So now Bliss is all by himself. The stun doesn't quite land, and so NIU going to have to just keep pushing this 1v2.
Big thing to note, Wukong just hit level 6. So now he can finally start being more aggressive with his plays. Possibly looking for a 3v3 on these grubs with B Chillin and Soul Pengu. Silas flashes down. That's a big cooldown to note.
It is, and we see that this could be an aggressive play up towards the top side. NIU has an inkling that it might be happening. They're going to ping out that Xin Zhao might be there, and it does look like we're just going to see, yeah, Fury's going to finish that back, and so that will just be Xin Zhao grabbing those grubs and giving his team the second stack towards the objective beats. Now, Snark not able to land the Chains of Corruption. Unfortunate on that one. Otter going to have to back away as well on this, and so NIU just getting a little bit pushed under their turret.
I respect the attempt, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was... If that had landed, I think they had the damage to be able to follow that up. It just was unfortunate that it was just a little bit off the mark.
And bot lane looks bad right now, but they do have all sums, so it's not absolutely terrible. I think they would be able to outplay anything if they do come bot.
I agree. Oh.
Did a pause?
I did see a freeze. So there's two things that this might be. If you guys are also seeing the freeze on your end, it could be that there was a pause that didn't register correctly. Sometimes on the back end, it will freeze the live part of the replay, and then will eventually put spectator like at a pretty much 0-second pause, or it could be that spectator is half broken for it. So we'll have to see. We'll give it a minute to figure that out, but let's see.
Well,
Yeah, at
what do you think?
8:30 is when we'll see.
What do you think both teams are going to do next? Will we wait for
Well,
the pause?
I definitely think that we're going to see the dragon going to be the next thing that both teams are going to have to play towards, especially because you give up this dragon and that is feats immediately over to the side of Northeastern. So Northeastern, there's a little less of an onus on them. I mean, they're going to want it, but they don't necessarily need to give up anything for it. If NIU ends up grabbing it, it's not the worst thing in the world for Northeastern. But there is a lot of pressure on NIU to grab that one. So we'll have to see if they just elect to give up the feats or if they elect to fight for this next dragon.
Yeah, that's a big decision they're going to have to make is whether or not they think they lose the game entirely off of contesting the dragon, if they have the resources. I know NIU bot lane has all their sums up, but I don't know about ultimate cooldowns. I can't see it right now. But I think a lot of thought is going to have to go into if they're just going to give the boots, because I don't think the boots are strong enough to warrant putting themselves in a worse position.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, they're down about 2.8k gold right now, where we're at with the stream. Currently having some tech issues with the actual replay file. Um, but on the same hand, if you can get it back to a little bit more of an even state, then it's definitely worth fighting for those boots. But to your point, with the already being at a disadvantage, that's going to be a tough one. Let me see. So I'm gonna on my end, I'm gonna go ahead and jump back and forth and see the if that might be what's going on. Um, and if so, then we will get the stream jumped back and forth as well. So yeah, for those of you just joining us, we are at about 8 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. Uh, there is a bit of a tech issue going on with the spectator. Yep. So if you just if we relog or not relog, but relaunch, we should be able to jump back in. Uh, so it is working now at that point. So we'll get that going for you. I will go ahead and pause at 11:17, and then we'll jump back into the action right then. So our apologies that it isn't able to show that meantime, but we will get that as good as possible back into it. Over the dragon just now here. So does look like that did go over towards the side of Northeastern. NIU able to grab a couple kills off of it. Looks like 2 kills went over towards the side of Syndra. Now Fury also is sitting on a kill, and Varus too. So now NIU might be able to grab something here. Fury is going to be jumping forward, but that's going to be dashing back over the wall. It's going to be the kill going over towards the side of Srirachi, and they'll see that is Northeastern. If they can continue with this one, it
It was
is just
very
going to be
well
that
played.
last kill. Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to mean Xin Zhao is going to get yet another set of free grubs. They win the
Yeah,
fight, able to take that, and that will be
so
6
the
grubs over to the side.
six grubs is a very important mark for a new reason this season is because the Otacon buff makes the grub stronger, if I do have that correct. So the
Oh,
6 grubs
interesting.
plus Otacon buff, if they do keep up the momentum, will be insane for this Imbessa Silas in side lanes.
Hmm. I think right now, is that the case with and forgive me because I'm not 100% sure. Is that the case with both Voracious and Runus Otacon, or is it just on Ruinous, where it empowers epic monsters.
I,
Snark?
I believe it is the case for at least Ruinous. I know for sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure for
Interesting.
Ravenous. I'd have to check, but I believe the buff for smiting the objective is making all of your other objectives effects stronger, such as dragons and grubs.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Otacon is such uh, a new objective that I think everybody's still learning a little bit about it, myself included. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I am a silver level Belveth, pretty much one trick, and so I don't fully understand Outcon even yet. So I don't envy those of you that have to compete and have to learn this stuff on the fly. Um,
No,
with
yeah, a
that, we
lot of
do see.
people are within the same boat, but I think the biggest thing to note about Otacon is the resistance shred it has. And this is how a lot of teams that actually are winning throw games is because they start the Otacon.
Yeah, I've noticed that it does have like the Baron style resistance shred on top of having, um, in voracious form, it has an insane amount of lifesteal, especially within that little shroud circle that it creates. Um, you definitely want to uh, you want to kite it, that's for sure.
Mhm.
And Ruinous, it seems counterintuitive, but Ruinous, the one you get when there's more kills and more damage done in a game, is easier to kill than Voracious. So it's very interesting as an objective. It definitely changes quite a bit about the game, and I'm excited to see when it spawns here in about 5 minutes how it impacts this one. It looks like it is going to spawn on the bot side, so that's good to note that they'll be playing towards that with the dragon spawning at about that same time. But now NIU is going to look for a pick on towards this Karma. They do have the kill. Snark's going to be able to grab it on towards Hiccup, so nicely done to be able to grab that one. Xin Zhao was there, but not able to follow up, and NIU will set themselves up for this Rift Herald. Now able to put some vision down, and so they're going to actually force the Xin Zhao, or Ambessa, I'm sorry, to dash away here. So we'll see if they're able to finish off this Rift Herald. They're going to go ahead and start it up, but looks like Northeastern might look to contest here.
So one thing to note, Silas is still pushing bot lane. Um, he's going to get a lot of damage off on that turret, or if they do think they can contest this rift, he can TP. I think it's within better interest for Northeastern to just let the Silas hit the turret because he does have 6 grubs. This is something. Okay, he's gonna look for the TP.
All right, so here's going to be the engage. NIU's going to have the skull. No, that's just going to be the Call of the Forge God. NIU going to be able to grab that one. Ultimate comes through for Fury. That's going to be the kill going over towards the side of Snark. NIU could clean this one up. That's going to be still a, I think this is 3 for 3, 2 for 3 right now in favor of Northeastern. And now going to be a 4 for 2 in favor of Northeastern, as Beachillin will be the only one to survive that. But that's a lot of gold on towards the Syndra here, and if you take a look in the inventories, both of these mid laners are now sitting on 9 stacks on their Dark Seal. So I think despite the fact that Northeastern walked away from that with more kills, NIU is going to be feeling pretty good about Beach Hill and getting a lot of stacks on his Dark Seal and being able to have a lot of utility out of that.
Yeah, and I think a big thing to note is the mid jungle. Those are the 2 pockets that matter the most for NIU because those are going to be the 2 like highest damage carries. I'd argue for NIU is the Syndra and the Wukong.
All right, let's make sure. Just seeing some stuff in the chat. Uh, let's just be courteous, kind, and cheerful here. Calling on to my scout background there, as started getting the scout oath in my head. But yeah, let's be courteous in the chat. You know, we're here to support all the players from both of these teams. And so let's just keep this chat a positive place to be. We really welcome everybody. We welcome everybody who is watching. I mean, this is a fantastic turnout for the first match of the year. We've got over 50 viewers so far, and so we're really excited about it. But yeah, let's just make sure we keep this positive in the chat, please. with that said, now that's going to be the bullet time going through. Bliss is going to be taken very low, but now NIU, oh, they are able to find one on it, but it is traded as Karma's going to be grabbing another kill to her name on that Hiccup on that champion. And likewise, Varus here by Snark able to grab that first kill, or that second kill for himself. NIU will lose the turret, but
Okay, so we have Otacon spawning in 40, and no other timer actually matches up with it. So if Northeastern wants, they could just do this on spawn. And I'm seeing the pings. It looks like they are just going to head to it on spawn.
all right. Sorry about that. We were having some. I was seeing the chat a little bit, and so just that same reminder coming back to everybody here as we go. And just a reminder, those of you that don't know, while I am doing the League of Legends casting here, as Voracious Otacon is going to be spawning on the bot side, and my role as caster is one of the roles I play here at NIU, I am also director of esports for the program, and so keep in mind that we will be watching through the chat, and the code of conduct for the university's esports program does apply in our chat as well. So I welcome you to please consider that in any of your chat interactions that we're having throughout this one. NIU using that Rift Herald, now mid, and potentially looking to try to pick off the side of Northeastern as they go for this one. That's going to be a stun on towards Bokudo, but the bullet time is going to mean that NIU is going to be turned right around on, and they might have bitten off more than they can chew here. That's going to be the call of the Forge God. It's going to be some damage on towards Bliss. He's going to be taken down, so Swolpingo is able to grab that kill. Now Fury able to grab some damage on towards Bokudo, and that is going to be Fury grabbing yet another kill with it. But Srirachi is going to be here. Stun goes through from this Silas on towards Fury, able to dash towards Hiccup. Does not end up getting out, and that's going to be the kill over towards Srirachi. NIU will lose that fight 4-for-2, and they will lose their top lane inhibitor turret as well here, as Jisung is just continuing to push up towards the top side there.
This is a prime example of what I'm talking about when it's really easy to throw at Otacon, so a lot of these teams will just opt to leave Otacon on the map. And that fight could have gone a lot worse if they actually started the Otacon. It was a relatively decent fight for how behind they are in gold. I think a big part of that is the Wukong being able to actually get onto a lot of their carries after their cooldowns are already down. They had no Xenar and they didn't have much to really stop him. But unfortunately, it was still a 4-for-2 in the end.
Yes. Dragon spawning in just... Why don't I have my objective timers on? My apologies. Dragon spawning in just about 50 seconds. That'll help if I know what time things will spawn. But now, NIU kind of posturing down towards this Otacon. So, unfortunately, it's going to be difficult for both these teams to really fight too... Well, not for both these teams. It's going to be a little more difficult for NIU to fight over this Otacon, considering that they're going to have Ornn go up top and answer the Ambessa split push. They do have teleports on both of these top laners, but it looks like Northeastern is just posturing towards a potential top lane inhibitor take. So we'll have to see if NIU susses this one out. They're kind of posturing towards maybe a pick on towards the Silas and the Dragon. They're gonna find that now Ambessa does go in towards the top lane. It takes Swolpingu quite low. Dragon has spawned. NIU able to grab some damage, but Snark gonna have to flash away. This is gonna be the follow from Srirachi. It's gonna be the trade kill, but now it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Northeastern. And NIU gonna have to get out of here with Beachillin and Fury, but Beachillin gonna be killed by the double tap here. And once again, NIU not quite able to turn things around. Dragon going to be going over towards the side of Northeastern, and I think just with that gold lead, it's going to be difficult for NIU to find any of these fights as they go.
Yeah, I think they're just running through the steps here, and I think they're gonna grab triple inhib. Maybe look on Baron on spawn and look to final siege the base.
So, what are your thoughts on the Varus here? I see that we've got Snart going for more of an on-hit build. So, kind of take me through that choice versus maybe more of an AP or attack speed build that you might see in other avenues of that champion.
I I think the on hit build is mostly because he needs to be able to just fight people in his face. He's not going to be at a range in a lot of time because a lot of their team can just jump on them like Xin Zhao and Bessa. They pretty much on him instantly. So he just needs to be able to auto attack and pump out as much damage as he can before he inevitably dies or has flash and can maybe get away.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Now, I know they're kind of going back and forth with this Baron spawning, but I do want to take a second to call out. I've seen the NIU heritage of junglers in the chat tonight. I've seen PCH throw in a couple messages. I've seen a few messages from Broccoli as well. Broccoli even flattering me so much as to say that I'm both rich and handsome. Maybe one or the other, but you can't have both. So, uh, NIU now going to try for this Baron fight. It is going to be the Call of the Forge God used. It was actually Srirachi's Call of the Forge God, but Snark going to die on the backline. NIU will grab one, but it's going to be just too much damage from the side of Northeastern. That's going to be Swole Pengu as the only one left. And now the teleport in. Everybody killed off for NIU. That's going to be the ace over to Northeastern. They'll take the Dragon Soul, or they'll have had the Dragon Soul, but they will take this game in just under 26 minutes. 27 to 12 the kills, and about a 12,000 gold lead to finish them off. But that'll be game one going over towards one of the two Huskies in this matchup, but the Northeastern ones in this way.
Yeah, I
Now,
think the pockets were just too much for that last team fight. I think it wasn't played poorly by anyone. I think the pockets was too full of cash, I think.
yeah, I mean, once you get to a certain point, it's just going to be difficult. And it looks like NIU has already made the decision that they want to switch over towards the blue side for this one. So that should give us a little bit of a different look here from the Huskies of Northern Illinois. Um, Now, here we go. As one thing I'm looking forward to. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Again, courtesy of Ethan, we've got the post game recap here, so you can just see where that gold lead kind of ballooned there at around 12 minutes. Um, 10 to 12 minutes. It was up there, but it really blossomed at that point, and from there, NIU really couldn't do a whole lot to come back in it. Karma, definitely a problem here. Excuse me, 28,000 damage on the support,
That's a
and
lot of damage.
that's a lot of damage. Uh, NIU not quite able to take any of the towers or drakes, so they're going to look for more objectives in this next one. But you can definitely see there's room for maybe some changes in game number two. Jacob, what are you feeling like is what? Oh, never mind. NIU's going towards the red side. They picked red. I was mistaken. They are going that direction with things. Um, what do you think of what do you think of game number one? What can NIU do to maybe come back and force a game three out of this series?
Well, I think they need to play slower bot side. I think they tried to play too fast around timers that weren't really there. I think they just need to give Fury time to get down there, and if there is a play, great. If there isn't, there's not a play, and you just gotta let him maybe reset or look mid. Um, I think this second game going into it, they're probably gonna pick something a bit more passive to maybe slow down the pace of the game because I think maybe a lot of it is nerves that they're just playing too fast in these early games. So by the time they do actually get a hold of the game, it's kind of too late. So I think they definitely can win these team fights if they just play the lanes correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I'll I'll agree with you there and say there was nothing in that game that I necessarily saw and said that NIU is just outclassed here. I think that there's definitely opportunities to turn this one around, and so I agree with everything you were just saying. I mean, the game two is certainly not out of the question that we go to a third game here in this series. So we'll have to see how this one goes. Looking through the chat, we've got some. I like all the fun banter going on. Like I said throughout the game, keeping it positive. That's always great when we do that. Um, Broccoli with the goaded animations and stream. Thank you to Ethan for that. Noodle able to make those animations and really up our stream quality from everything. Um, Even thank you to Hope, the Northeastern coach, for that. That's wonderful as well. Um, Goldfish, we're all goldfish. Getting some quotes from Ted Lasso. I like that. Um, well, did you know this, Jacob? I've been seeing some interesting things that I didn't know about Fury, but I'm learning a lot of things from the chat. And apparently, every time that Fury goes to a new restaurant, he randomly picks the best thing on the menu without fail. Every single time. And even the waiters are impressed. I
Yeah,
didn't know that. And I'm learning new things every day.
he's an amazing man. He actually saved my dog from a burning house once. It was awesome.
Really?
I owe a
Wow.
lot to him.
I mean, I'll say. But absolutely, we've got Bro God. I can't say whether or not we'll see Swolpingu re-add you on League, but our our hearts going out to you. Hopefully, you and Swolpingu can re-add that lost connection at some point. Oh, it does look like we might see a change here in the lineup. Looks
Oh,
like the Utopian Soldier might be jumping in for the side of Northeastern. I know there was some talk in the team about potentially remembering Utopian Soldier from a previous year. So we'll see where that goes. But we will get you those updated lineups as soon as we can. I have this past fall semester. I had the wonderful opportunity that I actually got married over the past year, and so broccoli, I'm so sorry. I can no longer say return that love to you, but in a platonic fashion, I might say I will. But yeah, absolutely. Looking back at it, here's the recap once again for you guys. We'll go ahead and we're just waiting on game number two. I do know that we're gonna have the draft once again off of stream. I will take a look at it as we go, just so that we know kind of what the order was, if there were any interesting things that came through, and um, yeah, be mindful that there is a Nightbot in the chat. So if you're spamming emotes or spamming caps, it is going to delete your messages, everybody. But yeah, we'll go ahead and have that draft just so that we know if there's any interesting orders to those picks for you. All right, and we are back with game number 2 here of NIU versus Northeastern. Just like last game, draft was done on Draft or GG, so we're just going to see how it went. Um, we did actually watch the draft this time, and there were some spicy things that got picked. So as we go through, I'm going to have Jacob explain a little bit of what was going through the head on some of these picks, or at least kind of what we surmise might be the case. But just like last game, it's going to be the Viego, the Caitlin, the Corky, and the Skarner bands to start us off. We're now going to get. Oh. And we're going to now see the Lux band away from the side of Northeastern. NIU will use this last band to take away that Karma as well. Uh-oh. All right. Well, I'm going to be flying solo for a little bit here, as we were informed that that Beast Ridge lost internet connection for the minute, so when we get him back, we will let you know. But yeah, this Casante Darius matchup, this was last pick for either team. It should be a very interesting one. Once
I'm
again,
back.
the welcome back. Beast Ridge is here, and Wukong, Zinzao was again the first pick. Wukong, once again, the answer here from NIU. Aurora was picked early for Northeastern. Utopian Soldier, just to make a note here, Northeastern did have a substitution here. They subbed in Utopian Soldier for um, for the mid lane there. So Aurora, definitely one of his stronger champions. So we'll see how that one goes. Syndra was NIU's answer to that.
Yeah, I think the Syndra is still a very strong pick, as well as the Wukong. I think they one work very well together, and two, they're both very good comfort champs for the players themselves. And I think the Ash here works a lot better with these two picks because it provides a lot of setup.
Yes, I have to agree. And I find it interesting that we're seeing these hovers of champions, considering that we know what the draft is at this point, but still fun. Um, Ash, Jinx, Lulu, and NIU finished it off with a Seraphine here. So this was actually NIU's first rotation was that Seraphine Wukong. They felt pretty comfortable playing that, knowing that the Lulu was likely going to get picked, and then it was. So looking across the board at these comps, when we were in between matches and we had seen the draft and chat hadn't at this point, you and I were talking a little bit about kind of what made these comps go. So, do you want to explain a little bit to the folks at home kind of why on these compositions?
Of course. So Northeastern's comp is a very front to back style comp. They really want just Casante and Zinzao in the front, with the Lulu helping them out, and maybe Aurora looking on flanks. Uh, and Casante and Lulu can peel the Jinx actually really well. Even Jinzao can. It's a really good front to back comp. While NIU is kind of just looking to disrupt a lot of the fight. They have a lot of CC and a lot of team fight ultimates. And I think the Darius and the Sinja are actually going to be the biggest parts of the team fights themselves. And I believe the idea here is to get the Darius ahead because the Darius is a very good pick into Casante for multiple reasons. One being he has built an armor pen, and two being he has an execute built into his kit. So I think winning through Darius is probably Northern Illinois' plan, and then for Northeastern, it's just going to be front to back with Jinx.
Yeah, and I think it also comes down to a little bit more of comfort, it would seem, on the NRU side. I know that Swolpingu has been wanting to play some Darius. I saw earlier in the week he had put a guide on some of the newest builds of Darius into the chat here. So I'm really curious to see what direction he goes with that because there's really three schools of thought that are all working in tandem right now. And depending on who you're up against, you can start Darius with the traditional Triforce start, but you can also go with a Stride Breaker. Or one thing that I've been seeing people cook up is the Spear of Shojin to start with. I played a couple games of Spear of Shojin Darius, and even as a jungle main, it feels pretty good. I'll be honest. Not playing it in the jungle, but still, feels pretty good to
Yeah,
play. So
and I think they are actually making a Shojin change that's going to make it even stronger. Where I think something with true damage and how damage is calculated is being changed. So it's going to actually buff true damage on Shojin somehow. Um, but I think a big thing to note here about the Darius pick is that Champ can't really function without Ghost. So NIU is going to be down a TP, and it's going to give them a lot less side lane pressure and map control when it comes to these objectives.
I almost wonder, and again, this is maybe a bit of solo queue mentality coming through, but I almost wonder if the thought process is it's okay to lose those drakes. in order to make sure that you have, Darius able to get some split push pressure. And so even if you can't TP in, potentially you can just continue to force, force Northeastern to answer on that side. But it's going to be interesting. It's definitely a different style than what we saw in last game. And looking at it, you're absolutely right that he did keep that ghost. So um, we are going to also see teleports on all the usual suspects. Both of these supports taking heal this game, so a little bit more of a combat summoner in that one. Jinx again electing for the cleanse. Ash instead electing um, for the barrier once again here.
And one thing I really like about NIU's draft is they drafted 3 winning lanes basically. So the game is at whatever the pace they choose to play it at. And I think that's something that they struggled with last game that maybe could have turned the pace of the game, or maybe even put them in a winning position if they had like confirmed winning bot side and winning top side. So I think this time around it gives Fury a lot more room to uh, do what he wants, maybe even look for some invade angles on the Xin Zhao, and hopefully we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, one change that we've already seen so far is that NIU's not looking to 5-stack here. Last game, they did 5-stack just to protect against the invade. This time, they went to their normal, not even a 5-point technically, because you see both of the bot laners kind of sitting in the bush, seeing if they can't get maybe a tease play out of this bush, whereas the side of Northeastern is doing much more of a traditional 5-point with one camp in pretty much all the jungle entrances here.
So
Prevent
they're
any
looking for the
invades.
classic Ash level 1. I mean, if Ash just autos you, if you misstep in the lane, you pretty much are guaranteed to get hit unless you or get hit by the Seraphine E unless you flash it. And it's a pretty good champion for just walking you down level 1.
And Serafini, I don't believe connected. It was just maybe half a pixel too wide. But you're absolutely right. That was exactly what they were looking for here. So a little bit different.
Note. Oh, sorry. You can go.
Oh, I was just
Okay.
going to say, a little bit of a different look here on the junglers because this time we see Fury starting towards the bot side, and we see Xin Zhao instead starting towards his own blue. So a little bit of a flip from last game.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about in draft. They need this Darius to win. Because he's a big part of their draft plan towards the mid game, especially. Is he needs to just be able to run through these fights, be strong, and possibly even get this first turret down before, the rift spawns.
Now, Wukong does show up towards mid. They're just pinging away from that one, so I don't think it's going to end up doing a whole lot here. And they do know this is Northeastern, that Fury has started his Raptors here, so we'll have to see how that goes. As he did so on a ward. And yeah,
So
keep that
Cassante, I believe his wave is in a pretty bad spot. So I think it would be good for the Northeastern jungler to actually walk up and help him, knowing that Wukong is pathing upwards. It could lead to disaster for the top side, depending on how.
Pingu's going to go in here. He's got the full 5 stacks on this, and now Darius might be able to grab this here. That's going to be the W. That's going to be flashed. Oh, not quite able to land it. Is Swole Pingu going to be able to live? Yes, he is.
I think Fury is just collecting on a free kill here if they can get the wave in.
Yeah, it's going to take a matter of...
He does catch in potion, so he's actually going to live.
Yeah.
Possible bot angle, the dive here.
Yeah.
He's just going to get the recall off.
Xin Zhao does finish the recall, though, so not going to be dove here. Although... Now mid could be, yeah, that's going to be the aggression. NIU goes forward here. Utopian Soldier going to be taken low. He's going to have to flash, and now is able to use the, I believe that was the Q to be able to get out of that one. But again, NIU finding themselves some aggressive plays early on in game number 2. And this one definitely going a little bit better in the early game for NIU than game 1 did.
For sure. One thing I don't like about how it's going for NIU is Fury is actually down in CS by quite a large margin. Uh, so it's not that much in gold, but it is going to be important when they hit the level 6 mark because for possible early skirmishes, he won't be level 6 when Xin Zhao is, so Xin Zhao can kind of control the pace of the game.
Well, Pingu's going to pop the ghost here. Is going to be able to get the Q. Now that's going to be the re-engage, and NIU is going to be able to get first blood on towards this Darius as Swole Pingu ends up with the solo kill up in the top lane.
Beautifully done. And that's why I'm a big fan of this matchup for Darius. It doesn't get better for Cassante either. Once he gets his execute, it's really rough for Cassante.
Snark going to be taken low, but this could be traded back potentially on towards Bliss.
They have all
going to be
sums.
taking, yeah, Otter going to take some damage, but able to get out of that one. Snark, oh, he steps a little too far forward. The heal is going to be enough to mean that that they do get the Lulu out. Snark will fall. It's just a little bit of an overstep here, and it will be 1 kill to each of these teams.
I think possibly what happens here is Fury looks to maybe split the map towards topside with all this pressure that Darius is providing and look to invade Xin Zhao's blue side.
Yeah, I think they're going to place some vision, and they're looks like it already starting up the grubs. So that's already some early objective focus here from Fury, and able to get that inside track to the objective before Xin Zhao, unlike last game. So especially now with the Syndra roaming up, I think this is just going to be a 3-grub take for the side of NIU. And now it might be contested, though, so we're going to have to see how that one goes, as Aurora is here as well. There is 1 grub left. That's going to be ultimate use. Beachillion's taken very low. Going to have to flash over the wall. Full Pingu is going to get there first, and this is going to be 3 grubs over towards the side of NIU, but Swole Pingu is now in a bad spot with the Lulu already roaming up. It is going to be the kill going over towards the side of Northeastern, but once again, it'll be on Hiccup here, and so NIU gets the objective, but loses the man in this fight.
Yeah, it's hard to say if that's worth. I think Lulu getting there first is really unfortunate. I mean, she has self-speed up plus boots, so it's inevitable that she's going to get there first. Especially when I think she got the recall off first. But the 3 grubs isn't bad, though, for sure.
I think it's going to help NIU, especially as you look at these feats. They have the lead in the objective one. They obviously have they don't have the lead in the kills one. Hiccup going to take a little bit of poke damage here from the bot lane of NIU. Is going to just have the healing plant, though, to be able to get himself back.
The big thing about Darius is Darius likes scrubs.
Yes.
The sooner he can get that tower down, the better. He could just run down the Cassante even faster.
Sante's going to engage on towards Darius, but Darius, actually, everybody on the bot side as well, just going to be able to force the flash off this Lulu. But Darius gets 5 stacks on towards the Cassante here. Now, both these teams just kind of posturing around the Drake. Oh, that's going to be unfortunate. Feat of Warfare is going to be picked up here by the side of Northeastern, as the Jinx was able to use her W into the bush, and that's going to be the Enchanted Crystal Arrow connecting. Fury going to fall here, but is NIU going to be able to do anything to trade this? I don't think so. Now with the support and jungler down, it is going to be the dragon going over towards the side of Northeastern. But Swole Pingu be taken a little low there, but not going to fall.
I think Aurora might be dead.
That's Utopian Soldier dead, yeah. Just overstepped there. Now flash over the choppers. Bliss gonna be taken very low. Not able to get the kill as NIU though. Now Snark needs to be careful. NIU does have flash from Otter. able to get out of that one, but potentially could be dove here, so they're going to have to be very, very careful.
They need to just back off the
Xin Zhao,
turret.
yeah, Xin Zhao's holding on to that one, and that's going to be flash and kill going over towards the side of Xin Zhao, and then that's the Jinx ultimate as well.
Very well
Unfortunate
played by
for NIU.
Northeastern.
Yeah. I think the fear there was if they backed up too far, they were going to end up in Xin Zhao's line of path anyway, without a turret to protect them, but it was a little bit unfortunate for the Huskies of NIU.
That's
Now,
a prime
Sunday's
example
going
of why
all
the oof,
unfortunate.
close. But
Yeah.
that fight bot lane was a prime example of why Lulu is actually so strong with the Jinx. Is this Jinx actually has a lot of early damage if she can get the peel, which there was a lot of clutch peel there with the shield and the ult that kind of swayed the fight.
Cassante, oh, okay, so he thought he had it timed out to get the X cube, but does just give the kill over to Darius.
We take those.
Yeah, we do. Be chillin' also up there. Now it looks like both these teams roaming up the sports to make sure that with these grubs spawning very shortly here, we're going to see how this one plays out. Teleport coming through from Cassante, so NIU has fewer members up towards the top side, and Xin Zhao going to be able to get inside positioning on this one. We'll see if NIU just looks for a steal at least on one of them.
It would be very good if Wukong could get over the wall to just smite away the third one, but it's not likely.
Well, we say that, and you're absolutely correct, but nicely done by Be Chillin', able to grab one just to get NIU up to 4 and prevent the stack of the feats for the side of Northeastern, as he was able to grab that one over the wall. Now, he needs to be careful because this Lulu has a lot of flows and damage here. But NIU looking for the bot lane.
This is a good angle.
They're going to be able to grab it.
Very nice. Very well played by Fury.
I think I might be a few seconds ahead of you. Just I've noticed. Let me catch up to you. What time are you?
11:48.
Chat. 11:48. Okay, so I'm like 2 seconds ahead. So I'm not gonna pause for that. That's okay. Now I know. That's gonna be all going through. Oh, flashes away. Be chilling. Nicely done to get out of that one. Oh, Jinx rocket. Let's see. Oh, it does land. That's unfortunate.
No flash.
I cry every time. Oh, there's the stun under the turret. This is going to be turned around. Fury is here. Is he going to be able to dash away? He flashes forward. Does not have ultimate, so he needs to dash one more time. Will he dive? No, he will not. Unfortunate. Not able to get it.
It was a good try, though. Aurora doesn't have TP, so I was gonna say she loses the wave, but I think he's not gonna opt into actually pushing the wave. Maybe it's better for Be Chillin' to get it. I can't see the actual wave state itself, but
well, that's going to be feats going over towards. Yeah, because that's going to be the feet going over towards the side of Northeastern. They're going to go ahead and get those at this point, but obviously much further delayed than they were in Game 1. So that's an improvement at least for NIU. We'll see if they're able to how they're able to do with these objectives in the long term, but those look like Dragon is going to be started to be positioned towards for both of these teams. As NIU looks to clear out some vision.
So there's a lot of first item spikes for both teams, but one thing to note is the Jinx is actually decently far ahead. So they're probably going to try to avoid fighting around the Jinx at this moment. Unless they think they can, like, one-shot Jinx. Wow.
Well, speaking of one-shot, Be Chillin' with a full rotation and just one-shots that Aurora. Snark needs to be careful. Now, Cassante going to dash forward. Going to be all out now. There's no turret there, but that's going to be the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It is a slower, or a shorter stun because it was so close range, but NIU has this nicely done, really nice ultimate from the Seraphine, but is it going to be enough damage? No, it's... Oh, wait, maybe Fury is here. Be Chillin' and Fury able to grab that kill. Nicely done by NIU, able to trade one back and grab the
Nice
dragon.
TP. They do
And
have
now
no TP now
Darius,
on the map.
this might be tier 2 turret as well dropping for NIU. So gold definitely going to balloon in favor of Northeastern here, but NIU will at least get the Hextech Drake. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and see the Ocean Soul here in this one. So that's a soul that I think both these teams, I mean, it's pretty universal. Every team wants an Ocean Soul, but when you're going to an enchanter and more of like a bleed champion, you like that that Ocean Soul because you can definitely survive through some of those longer engagements.
For sure. And big spike here to notice, the Jinx Runins, 2 items. It's a really huge spike in damage and team fights especially. So
Yeah,
this next the Rift Herald fight, actually, when does Rift Herald spawn? I can't see it.
it should be in. That's a great question. Oh wow, Utopian Soldier falls again as Fury able to layer the damage there, and now NIU flashes forward. That's going to be the cleanse coming through from Jinx, forcing that one. So that is now down for this potential Rift Herald fight, which that's about. I'm seeing 9 minutes. Did somebody take the Rift Herald? No.
No, it's up now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's been a weird thing this season, where it doesn't show the last 30 seconds of the Rift Herald timer. Like, it shows it as 10 seconds away when it's 40 seconds away, and then it's 10 seconds from there, I've noticed. So, NIU going to go ahead and grab the Rift Herald here, but realizing that they might have given up their mid-tier 1 turret, and maybe even tier 2 for that, as they're now kind of split off from their turrets. They are going to go ahead and grab this, but they're going to have to recall people into position, especially now that they're getting cut off by this Cassante. This is going to be the Seraphine falling to Utopian Soldier. NIU be chillin'. Is he going to be able to get out of this one? He's kind of on the wrong side, especially now that they don't have turrets either. And the Xin Zhao, the sacrificial lamb will be chillin', but NIU able to get the rest of their team back in time to at least
Yeah,
mid lane. Almost
that Rift Herald felt kind of illegal, but they did get it, so it's not terrible.
They might lose their inhibitor turret here, as this is now just macro coming through from the side of Northeastern. They're just pushing on through. Just unfortunate for NIU. They tried to kind of force the objective, and then once that was the case, they really didn't have an escape plan to get out of that one once they were cut off.
Yeah, it's going to be a lane of supers now coming in with 2 minutes on both Otacon and Dragon. So there's going to be a lot of pressure mid lane that might prevent NIU from getting vision for any objectives. And it's gonna get a little rough. So luckily they do have the Ash Hawks, so they can secure some vision. Possibly even prevent Otacon from being bursted down.
Wow, needing... That's actually... Oh, no. I missed that there was a Cassante there, and I thought that NIU had maybe a pick here. Now that's going to be Cassante going all out. Snark is going to be taken very low. He's going to be killed off here by Xin Zhao. Full Pingu is here to try to get the top lane tier 1 turret, but unfortunately it might just be the tier 1 for base trade, the infamous trade there.
I think they're actually going to overload bot here and take both the turrets spot, unless Jinx does.
Fury, this is going to be turned some.
This could actually
get a lot of damage on towards Bakudo. Flash comes through from Swolpingu, but doesn't get the is still not able to get 5 stacks on towards any of these team members. Now, that's going to be the ultimate. The Noxie and Guillotine going to be used. We'll see if he's able to get back on towards any of these guys to continue that one, but not able to do so. It will just be the one. NIU will lose one of their inhibitor or Nexus turrets, but crucially with this season, that doesn't mean that it's gone forever. So that's one of those nice changes that they've added to the game with this season. So at least NIU will get that back if they're able to hold at any point.
So
Jacob,
I
what are
am
you
curious.
seeing?
I am curious to see how much gold this Jinx is sitting on. She did just get another turret bot lane. I think the reason she's staying is because she's very close to their Infinity Edge. But I am assuming on this base they will have it. And this is one of the strongest 3-item spikes in the game. And there
Yeah.
is the Infinity Edge.
Yes, it is. And so that's a tough spot to be in if you're NIU fighting through a 3-item Jinx. Especially now one that's going to have one of the Ocean Drakes on their side. As this will be Ocean Drake number 1 secured by the side of Northeastern. NIU just going to allow them to have that. They kind of have to.
Is that Ravenous?
It is...
It looks red.
It does look red. I believe that is Ravenous.
That is probably the worst case scenario for NIU. Just because it guarantees Northeastern can't really throw the game on trying to end if they choose to try to end mid.
Yeah, that's definitely Ravenous, and that is definitely Northeastern starting it up when NIU cannot contest. And it will definitely be about 30 additional Blood Roses in the pocket of North... No, it was Voracious. I'm sorry. So yes, Voracious Otacon. So that's actually a better case scenario. So this is the fake Guardian Angel Otacon.
Wait, I thought the Ravenous was the GA. I got the names mixed up.
Voracious, yeah. Voracious is the GA one. Ravenous is the additional stuff.
Okay. So they're just gonna look for a 5v5 here.
Yep. Fury gonna be taken down low, and he is gonna be killed. Now that's gonna be Swolpingu who does fall, but yeah, this is a double kill over to Jinx, a quadra-kill, that's a pentakill, and that is gonna be the game over towards the side of Northeastern. Bliss gets himself a pentakill, and that was...
Gotta say, well
that was
executed
probably
by
the quickest
Northeastern.
pentakill I've seen. Yeah, exactly. I'm like...
I mean, that was textbook.
It was.
Take the Otacon, go base.
Yep. And NIU got one of the kills, but it didn't matter because it was the guy with TP, and they came back. So, an unfortunate start to the season for you. However, you kind of, this is a team that on paper, like we mentioned at the beginning, Northeastern is the strongest team in the conference on paper. So, they showed some strength there. We'll see if NIU is able to come back and turn things around, get on the win column, or in the win column, I should say, here on today's Wednesday. So that would be on Saturday at 2 p.m. I hope you'll join us for that one. What are your thoughts, Jacob? What went well? What do they need some improvement on for next game?
I think there just needs to be a bit more coordination with the bot lane and the jungle. Uh, Probably more gank setup opportunity to be had there. I do think there was a lot of good to be had, a lot of good to look at, and the only place you can go from rock bottom is up. So I'm excited to see what they have.
Absolutely. So looking at the schedule, it's going to be the University of Ohio or Ohio University, I guess is the correct way of saying that. Ohio University is the opponent for this Saturday. That's going to be 2 p.m. right here on the same channel. I do believe that it'll be both myself and Jacob back on the cast throughout the season, so we look forward to it. You can kind of see there's the gold graph, about a 13,000 gold lead, but again, that Jinx just did so much damage that you can kind of see that go through. 11 towers to 1, 2 inhibitors to nothing. NIU did get a tower and a Drake in this one. They weren't able to do so in game number 1. We will have on Saturday what the standings look like throughout the conference, but Really excited to have everybody here so far in this season. Thank you so much for all of your chat interaction. Um, I know we had at least 50, 60 viewers at one point, so very excited about that. Let's keep it up throughout the season. Um, and we hope to bring you guys a win against Ohio on Saturday. Um, and then Overwatch will be back on the menu here next Tuesday as well. Their match will be at 7 o'clock. Another note for the broadcasting, next week on Wednesday, our match will return to its originally scheduled time of 7 p.m. So this was a one-off 7:30 start time. From here on out, they should all be Wednesdays 7 o'clock, Saturdays 2 o'clock p.m., and that is Central Time. For everyone here on the broadcast, that would be Ethan on production, Noodle, Jacob Vita, Beast Fridge as the color commentator, and myself, Connor Vagel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, NIU can get in the win column on Saturday, but we will see you guys then for the action against Ohio. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.